We're so glad to be here at Capital One Hall with all of you to celebrate the visionary contributions of artists, arts and cultural organizations, and arts philanthropists who make our community sing, as well as dance and paint and act and write. Today, we'll recognize extraordinary contributions in the areas of theater, literature, philanthropy, as well as the Arts Center in which we're sitting. Before we break for lunch, I want to introduce Arts Fairfax's new board chair, Scott Cryer, principal with HGA Architectural Firm, and Linda Sullivan, president and CEO of Arts Fairfax.
Thanks, Tim. I'm really thrilled to be here with all of you today, both as the board chair of Arts Fairfax, but also as a member of HGA's architectural team who is fortunate to have Capital One as a really wonderful client. We will save the accolades for this facility for a little bit later in the program, but I think we can all agree that this venue is rather special, as are all of our honorees that we're going to honor today. At the end of the lunch, I will be leading a tour for anybody who's interested. We'll meet at the bottom of the stairs, and I'll take you through some of the highlights of this fantastic facility. And I encourage any of you to join me if you'd like. As a Fairfax County resident, whose family really benefits in various ways from all of today's honorees, I feel incredibly fortunate to be a part of the Arts Fairfax team, especially as I've spent the last couple of years working with fellow board members, with Linda and her incredible team, updating the strategic vision for Arts Fairfax. It has been incredibly rewarding to hear from so many county leaders, many of whom are with us today, and other community stakeholders about the support and the appreciation for the essential role that the arts play in Fairfax County today. I want to take this moment to thank our Arts Fairfax board for their time, their guidance, their talent, and their vision. Any board members that are in attendance, please stand and let's give them a round of applause. I know we got a bunch. Thank you. I also want to thank Linda Sullivan, who's going to follow me up here shortly, and the incredible Arts Fairfax team. It's really an all-star team that we have right now. Who have organized today's event and expanded our services for the arts community and county residents through the many challenges of the past few years. Thank you all for your hard work. Please stand and let's give another round of applause. It's a really incredible, incredible team. They're already standing. They're working. Finally, it's my honor to extend my appreciation to all of you here who believe in the importance of arts in our society. Thank you so much.
This is a great turnout for the arts. I want you to know I believe in the arts and I practice what I believe. I have been an amateur thespian and for many years, and in fact I'm having a performance tonight with my home troupe, the Providence Players. Thank you. Now I have to tell you, it's a little dangerous being a politician and some of the roles they give me. I was an entomologist, that was okay. I was Officer O'Hara in Arsenic and Old Lace, that was okay. But I was also a murderer in one performance and a drunken politician in another. So the arts can get you in trouble. But I guess it is so wonderful to see you all here in person and in such large numbers to support what we do here in Fairfax County through the Arts Council. You know, for me, and I know for you, art is something that is a self-expression by a community. And we need a lot more of it. We need a lot more of it. We need public art. You know, I like to say I come from Boston and I went to school in Chicago. Thank you very much. And both cities love public art and have miles of it. You go down Commonwealth Ave in Boston, for example, and it is like an outdoor sculpture garden for several miles. And it's all kinds of art. We need to be doing more of that in Fairfax County. But also, art is innate to the human being. To be human is to express oneself in art. And that goes back to the original hominids, cave dwellers, who, fighting for survival, hunters, gatherers, but they took time out to actually depict art in cave walls. And in some cases, that's all we have that survives of them. But we saw beauty, we saw action, we saw their pictorial expression of what they were experiencing, including extinct fauna and flora. And so what we do and what we're supporting today is critically important. And we were tested during the pandemic. Art cannot be something we can afford to do when it's a luxury. Art has to be integral to what we do every day. It's also, I think, a sign of the maturation of a community when they turn their attention to building infrastructure to support the arts. One of the most pivotal moments we made in Fairfax when I was on the Board of Supervisors was to purchase the Lorton property. Now think about it. Lorton had been a prison. It originally started out as a reform prison. It kind of evolved. Women who were advocating for the vote during Woodrow Wilson's administration were arrested and incarcerated in that prison. And over time, it became something other than a reform prison. And finally, the federal government decided to close it, and we were able to negotiate the best deal since the purchase of Manhattan. There were 320 buildings on that property. And we had to figure out, what do we do with all of that? We wanted to preserve open space, but we also, some people came to us with a vision about, how about an arts center in Lorton at the old prison site? And I have to admit, some of us were skeptical. We were supportive, but skeptical. Until the very first performance at that prison site. And the person who organized it had contacts in New York, and he got Mikhail Baryshnikov, the world-class ballet dancer, to perform at Lorton. And all of a sudden, we could see the future. We could see the possibility of an expansion of the arts in every way in Fairfax County. So that's what our charge is today, right? Think expansively. Think about that future. Think about how we make sure that the arts are ever more integrated into our lives as we emerge from the pandemic and we think of new, innovative, and creative ways to express ourselves as a community and to reflect the diversity and wonderful values we possess. Thank you so much for being here today, and congratulations to our awardees. I will tell you that I have recognized all of our awardees and this gala in the congressional record, and I'm pleased to tell you that for once there was no objection.
Well, it is a pleasure to be here on behalf of the Board of Supervisors, and I want to make sure, since this is up here, this proclamation, to formally declare something that our board did already, which is to proclaim that October is Art and Humanities Month throughout Fairfax County. And this seems like the most perfect way to wrap up that month, to be with all of you here in what is a phenomenal arts facility in Fairfax County that's getting attention across the country, and obviously you can see why. It is a wonderful facility and one of the many investments that we continue to make in the arts in Fairfax County. We also know that throughout the pandemic, our arts community was heavily impacted as there were many closures and other things that occurred. So I am also happy to say that our board very recently in our last budget increased our commitments to the arts by $250,000 more for grants for our small arts community, so that they could survive through the pandemic and thrive as we move forward. Jerry started making confessions of elected officials of their artistic contributions, and so I will confess that I once was stood up at the Workhouse Arts Center to be the guest narrator for the Rocky Horror Picture Show, and that was the end of my direct involvement in the arts that day, because I watched my own office staff in the front seat be so highly entertained by this that my work was done after that. But I will say personally, the arts are so vital to my family and to our entire Fairfax County family. And I've told the story before about the difference in the attitudes of my children who were involved in the arts during the COVID pandemic versus once they were able to get back out into the arts and express themselves, how much healthier they were. And we know that was occurring throughout the county. And so when we talk about integrating health into our community, we have to talk about integrating arts, because arts are a major contributor to public health. And we need to acknowledge that. You know, just last night, I know Supervisor Harity and Supervisor Stork are here. Just last night, Supervisor Stork, Harry, and I were at the South County Middle School, very close to the Workhouse Arts Center, which is a school that is well known for its artistic expression. And we were there to celebrate the 10th anniversary of the school's opening. And normally at an anniversary like that, you would get a building tour, you would get a long history of how we got to where we were. But no, South County Middle School instead decided to turn their 10th anniversary into really a celebration of the arts. And as we sat in the gymnasium, we watched our middle schoolers who have been through a lot. All of our kids have been through a lot through COVID. We watched middle schoolers through chorus and dance and entertainment electrify the room. The parents who were there, those of us in elected office who were there, in a real hometown feel in just a gymnasium, a middle school gymnasium. And what was most remarkable about that occasion is looking at every child who was involved in that program and looking at the pure joy that they had on their faces, smiling ear to ear, the teamwork and camaraderie, the celebrations of each other's successes when they were at the microphone, and to watch our richly diverse county, kids from all walks of life, all different ages, all different backgrounds, all different races, together cheering each other on, supporting each other, and smiling ear to ear over chorus, dance, and a celebration of the arts, and the room was electrified and packed. And we know that kind of thing happens in every corner of the county. And for me, last night was a public health moment, because I left there feeling like I normally do, but really in a profound way, so proud of this community, this county, and all the people who celebrate the arts, build each other up, and understand that this is essential to public health. And so on behalf of the Board of Supervisors, I want to congratulate all the award winners. I love reading the program and the remarkable things that these individuals and organizations have done to contribute to the arts, and know that we as Fairfax County and on behalf of our entire board will continue to be a strong partner, not just in the arts, but in making sure the arts are contributors to our own public health. So thank you very much.
Each year, Arts Fairfax selects a Fairfax County artist to create the award that we present to our honorees. This year's artist is Foon Sham. Foon is an internationally renowned artist whose large sculptures, both temporary and permanent, can be seen at major museums or university campuses, and sometimes along Constitution Avenue. He also creates paintings, mixed media collages, and large mixed media installation. His work is informed by his multicultural experiences, and it speaks to the humanity and self-reflection in each of us. Foon was our 2019 Achievement Award honoree. Foon, if you would, please stand to be recognized. Thank you very much. And now our first award. We're pleased to present the Achievement Award to Mark Bruchet, for he has a career in theater that spans 40 years of professional acting, directing, writing, and teaching. Mark was instrumental in developing Young Actors Theater in Reston, and which has become one of the country's and the county's strongest theater education programs for youth. We'll be treated to a performance by 4 former participants of Mark's program. Mark, if you would, please come up. We'd also like to invite Beverly Cosham, Board Chair of Reston Community Center, Senator Boysko, Delegate Shin, and Fairfax County Supervisor Alcorn to join us on the stage.
Reston Community Center is thrilled to be a sponsor of the Arts Fairfax Awards. We're delighted so many other organizations and businesses are joining us in supporting this fantastic organization. And now, without any further ado, the magnificent Mark Bruchet.
I never intended to go into the arts when I was growing up. I never saw myself as an artist because I couldn't draw. I couldn't make art in that way. And then my mom suggested that I try a theater class. As part of the class, I had to audition for a play, and I was cast in the play. And after that, I just kind of figured that's what I was meant to do. Young Actors Theater, what I tell my kids all the time is that it's a class. So we use a play to teach kids about the process of putting together a theatrical production. We teach them performance skills, acting, singing, and dancing, but we talk about the whole picture. We talk about the whole production and how it's put together and how each of these elements fit in. I tell you, kids these days, they are very used to being told what to do. Consequently, they're waiting to be told what to do. Theater for kids allows them to take hold of their creativity and use it to express something. And creativity is a way that we work through a lot of our problems. Oh, wow. Well, certainly it's an honor. It's like, are you sure you got the right guy? It's flattering, and I think, well, you know what? You know, all the years that I've been doing this, I've actually, somebody noticed, you know, and that feels good.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. When they made the video, they sent me a list of questions that they'd be asking me. I think there were 8 questions that they had planned to ask. Because I'm so long-winded, I get talking about Young Actors Theater and that, and I go on, and so I think they were afraid that I might go on today because we only got through about 5 of those questions before they kicked me out of the studio. So I wrote it down so that I'll keep it nice and succinct. First of all, I'd like to thank Arts Fairfax for presenting me with the award, the Achievement Award. And Fairfax County is home to so many incredible artists. To be singled out and to be included with the other honorees today is truly humbling. I'd also like to thank Congressman Connolly for being here, because we see him a lot. He comes to a lot of functions at the Wrestling Community Center. He's a great friend of the arts. It's great to see him up here. And also, I want to thank the rest of the dignitaries that are here on this stage as well. You know, much of my work over the years has been with the Young Actors Theater in Reston at the Reston Community Center, and there are a lot of people. I do a one-man show there as well, and the thing about a one-man show, there's really no such thing, because there are a lot of people that are working behind the scenes to make that happen. And it's the same thing with the Young Actors Theater, that a lot of times I'm up and talking to the parents before production, and they see me, but they don't see all those people that are working in the background. I just want to recognize real quick some of those people. Lila Gordon, a great patron of the arts. Lila and I have known each other for almost 50 years. She hired me to first come to the Wrestling Community Center as a director with what was at the time called Theatric Camp. And she was a performing arts director. Now she runs the whole place. She's the executive director. I also want to thank Karen Goff, who actually nominated me for this award, and on behalf of RCC. Linda Eifert, who's right over there. Linda Eifert was the technical director at the Reston Community Center for years and years and years. She and I worked very closely together on not just Young Actors Theater things, but other events at RCC as well. Sherry Danaher, right here, that's sitting in front of me. She is the Arts Education Director at Reston Community Center, so she's responsible for the administration of the Young Actors Theater. Also, Kevin Danaher, who's back there somewhere. Kevin is Sherry's husband, and he at one time was assistant technical director, so he contributed a lot towards the technical elements of the productions that we have here. Also, the current performing arts director, P.D. McNevitz, he's back there. Again, if there's anybody that rivals Lila at all in terms of her dedication to the arts, it's P.D. He's not just RCC, he's all over the place doing things for the arts and does a really great job. Also, with our media department, B.B. Wynn, and also where Sam is over here, Sam Croquette. Well, I'm seeing, she's looking around like, what, me? Well, yeah, she did a lot of the programs for the YAT program, or YAT productions and that sort of stuff. And BB was, at the time, she headed up the media department, and now she's deputy director. So, yeah, you work yourself up and all that. Yeah. But finally, I'd like to thank my wife, Karen, and my kids, Charlie and Katie. My wife is here with my son, Charlie. I'd like to just recognize that I appreciate that they put up with my love affair with the performing arts for all these years. And also, my wife, I just want to, you know, when you're a writer and a performer, you're learning lines and doing all this, somebody's got to listen to you all the time. And so I just want to know that, want you all to know that she spent a great deal of time being my sounding board and also being my proofreader with a lot of stuff, because I'm forever coming up to her and saying, hey, okay, how does this sound? And I'll read her something, and of course, she loved all of it all the time. So anyway, thank you all very much. Thank you. It's an honor. Well, while everybody's clearing the stage, I'll just tell you a little bit more about Young Actors Theater. The Young Actors Theater teaches kids ages 7 through 16, the process of putting together a theatrical production. And that includes classes in singing, dancing, and acting. And our production of The Tiger's Tail, the students create a school newspaper, and through their struggle to make their publication far-reaching and meaningful, they learn valuable lessons in teamwork, friendship, and making sure of your facts before you go to print. The opening number depicts their first edition as being little more than a gossip rag. But among the trivia is a piece in the paper that invites those with troubling issues to ask for advice in a segment called Dear Amy. Our performers today, they were former YT students, and they've moved on to other things, but Lise Bartiquet, she works with preschool kids and is working on getting her master's degree. Isabel Oliver, she is a 5th grade teacher, and she's a little bit concerned about how her students are handling the substitute they have today. And then we have Nicole Overhead. She works for the Federal Reserve. So we got graduates in high places here. The production, it was written by Richard Giersch. He wrote the music, and then the lyrics were written by Richard and by me, and it was under the musical direction of Beth Atkins. So please welcome our performers as they perform Extra Extra. And I'm going to move this back so they have a little more room, and I actually served as Linda's assistant technical director for 11 years, so I'm qualified to do this.
Extra, extra, read all about it. We've got all the news that's fit to print. Extra, extra, hot off the presses, get the scoop on all your friends. Extra, extra, read all the gossip. We've got headlines, bylines, fillers too. Extra, extra, come get your paper here, catch up on all the news. Did you know Tim Jones was in love with Becky Smith? Someone caught them kissing after school.
And Dottie Capolino's new boyfriend's name is Dino. He has a Harley Davidson tattoo.
Where? Extra, extra, grab your copy while there's still a copy here to grab. Extra, extra, read all the stories from the first page to the last. Extra, extra, come get your paper here, just form a line, it's worth the wait. Extra, extra, read all about it in the Tiger's Tail today. Jeffrey Swindle Barnes was caught skipping for the day, went skinny dipping at the lake instead.
No way.
He threw his tighty whities on a poison ivy patch. Now Jeffrey's home just wishing he was dead.
I've always thought I'd make a good advice columnist because I always seem to come up with just the right thing to say. And that's why we put this request in the Tiger's Tail. Send your letters to Ask Amy. See, it's right here on the bottom of the first page. I can just imagine all the concerned and troubled students writing to me, begging for my enlightened opinions.
Dear Amy, my clear results making my pimples multiply.
Don't use it.
Dear Amy, my voice seems to crack every time that I sing high.
Become a rapper.
Dear Amy, my dad took my iPhone. Dear Amy, I can't seem to moonwalk too well.
Well, Michael Jackson is passé now anyway. Consider it a blessing.
Dear Amy, I'm writing to you because I have a very serious problem.
Aww.
I'm in love with a boy who doesn't even seem to know I exist. What should I do? Truly lovesick.
Aww. Oh my gosh, I never thought about that. What if people want advice about their love lives? How can I give advice about something that I never had? What if I say the wrong thing and scar somebody for life? What do I do? Maybe I should ask Amy.
Can you believe you read that?
Oh yeah, I know. Did you see what she was
gosh.
wearing? Extra, extra, come get your paper here. Just form a line, it's worth the wait. Extra, extra, read all about it in the Tiger's Tale 2. Tiger's Tale 2. Tiger's Tale today.
Now, we're going to present the Innovation Award to Fall for the Book. Fall for the Book started their literary programming and first festival at George Mason University in 1999. The first festival featured 25 authors over 2 days. In recent years, Fall for the Book has redefined the traditional book festival through the creative use of technology and international connections. Fall for the Book now presents 150 authors in more than 80 events over 4 days, reaching upwards of 15,000 audiences worldwide. I invite Fall for the Book President Jennifer DeSano and Director Kara Oakleaf to the stage to receive the award, and we'd also like Mayor David Meyer to join us as well.
Fall for the Book is a book festival that occurs once a year. It began really as oriented around George Mason University, but then we garnered partners throughout the county, including Fairfax County Public Library. The mission of Fall for the Book is to encourage reading and create opportunities for readers to meet with authors and create other opportunities for workshops and exploration of what reading does for the community and encouraging empathy and exploring people's imaginations. It's a wonderful opportunity for an author to engage personally with the readers, and for the readers who are often fans of the authors to come and really get to know the authors on a totally different level in person. Reading offers an opportunity for cultural growth and gives you new knowledge. When you read through experiences, it should move you so that you then have a deeper sense of yourself and others' experiences. And so then that defines empathy, right? And so that is part of our mission for Fall for the Book, is to create those kinds of opportunities. We've designed a wonderful award called New American Voices, which is for immigrants who are writers, and over the last several years, it has just blossomed into this great format for people who otherwise have a difficult time among publishers getting the word out about their books. So Arts Fairfax is a fantastic organization in itself, and how it invests in organizations throughout the county that are championing the arts is, it's just an honor to have been recognized by Arts Fairfax. I think it's also wonderful that they recognize the literary arts and the dimensions that can come from books, and the sort of workshops that we do that align with the books that we read, and how that has enriched the Fairfax County community, and we really appreciate their recognition.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so very much for this award. On behalf of the Fall for the Book Board of Directors, we are very grateful to Arts Fairfax and the Arts Fairfax Board and the judges who juried the the awards. So thank you so much for your time and effort in doing that. We have many people to thank. I especially would like to thank George Mason University, the Fairfax County Public Libraries, Mayor Meyer and his support from the City of Fairfax, and many, many other partners. But in particular, as many of you who are involved in the nonprofit world understand, there is a lot of work that goes into the efforts so that people can then enjoy the arts that are being put on. And it's the people who do that work that are doing what we call yeoman's work. They're dealing with their boards of directors. They're recruiting the talent. They are coming up with the best impactful themes to choose the right kinds of performances, the right kinds of books in our case, to start to speak to the community in a very specific way. And all of that is very, very well thought out. And the logistics of executing all of these programs within our community is a lot of work. It takes a lot of effort. And that falls in large measure on, in our case, our director, Kara Oakleaf, who is here today. And I just really, really would love a round of applause for her. So thank you so much. In addition to Kara, Susie Rigdon is our festival manager. And if this is an innovation award, I think in large measure it belongs to Susie, because she was so creative in how she approached the pandemic change of how we do business, really innovating around ways we could deliver a book festival virtually, and you know, the creativeness, which you're going to witness in just a few minutes, of integrating how we enjoy reading and other arts, and how those things complement each other. So thank you to Susie Rigdon as well. And I'll hand it over now to Kara Oakleaf. Thank you all so very much.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. I just want to say thank you again to Arts Fairfax, to our partners at George Mason University, the Fairfax County Public Library, in the city of Fairfax. Fall for the Book wouldn't happen without the community partnerships that we have and we value so much. An extra thank you to Jennifer DeSanto for being our board chair and guiding us through these last very few difficult years for the arts and for Fall for the Book in particular. And again, I want to reiterate what Jennifer has said about our thanks to Susie Rigdon, our sincere thanks to Susie as our festival manager. A lot of people did a lot of work to bring arts programs online over the last few years, but Susie did it with so much thoughtfulness, with so much creativity, about how to create online and hybrid events that are engaging for audiences. She did it with an incredible amount of professionalism and aesthetics that really made the authors we present look good online, and always kept in mind how to keep our audiences and authors feeling connected to one another, no matter where they were watching from. She is very much the reason we're here today, and I'm so fortunate that I get to work with her. So thank you again, Susie. And so for today, we're very pleased that we can bring you a performance from Lyrical Motion, a dance and poetry collaboration. In this call and response event, which was first presented at the 2022 Fall for the Book Festival earlier this month, dancers from George Mason University choreographed original dances in response to the work of 5 poets. During the festival, the dancers and poets were able to see their pieces presented together on video for the first time, before participating in a live panel discussion on their work. The full performance is now available to watch online on Fall for the Book's YouTube channel. The piece we'll see for today features the poetry of Sarah Burnett, author of Seed Celestial, with choreography and dance by Nolan Eisenhower, a senior dance major at George Mason University. So please welcome Sarah Burnett to the screen and Nolan Eisenhower to the stage.
My name is Sarah Burnett. This poem is titled Ethnic Arithmetic from Seed Celestial. Again, I check ethnicity boxes, as if I could measure with a stick figure to derive the crude dimensions I'd wanted to keep separate as black beans and rice, never together. My mother sighing, it's how a true Cuban eats them. Her quick smile betraying some part of me quiet, another confused, as though, like her, with a doll and suitcase forever in hand. She rubs the white of her forearm with 2 fingers, a gesture I've learned conveys superiority that says, look at me, I belong here, not there. Check guilt, shame, denial, check every cliche. Write fractions half and half next to squares. A type of equation, devise an algorithm of my identity. Those parts, moros y cristianos, nunca congri, never together. But you don't have any accent. Who am I to know who I am? Sliding back and forth invisibly. And because of this, and maybe only this, which feature to cover or show, as if a distinctive mark, a curl of tongue, a darker jaundiced eye, check what's fair, what's not, I know exists to erase me. Again, I check ethnicity boxes, write fractions half and half next to squares, as if I could measure with a stick figure a type of equation, devise an algorithm to derive the crude dimensions I'd wanted of my identity, those parts to keep separate as black beans and rice, moros y cristianos nunca congri, never together. My mother sighing, it's how a true Cuban eats them, but you don't have any accent. Her quick smile betraying, who am I to know who I am? Some part of me quiet, another confused, as though sliding back and forth invisibly, like her with a doll and suitcase forever in hand. And because of this, and maybe only this, she rubs the white of her forearm with 2 fingers. Which feature to cover or show, a gesture I've learned conveys superiority, as if a distinctive mark that says, look at me, I belong, a curl of tongue, a darker jaundiced eye, here, not there, check guilt, shame, denial, check what's fair, what's not, check every cliche I know exists to erase me.
Now, we are pleased to present the Philanthropy Award to Gary and Tina Mather. Gary and Tina are ardent art supporters who've held positions of leadership in the philanthropic world as board and advisory members to Wolf Trap, Innova, Washington Performing Arts Society, and the Kennedy Center, and others. Through their philanthropy, they have made impactful gifts, strengthened organizations, both large and small, and served so many in our communities. You may not know this, but Gary is an accomplished classical guitarist. The Mathers believe that the arts play an essential role in the betterment of society, and our community is inspired by their patronage. Gary and Tina, if you would, please come up to the stage. We also invite Delegate Murphy and Supervisor Faust to join us.
Tina wanted me to get involved with something because when I told her I was thinking about retiring from Booz Allen, she didn't take it well. She said, "Are you telling me that you're going to be home every day?" We contribute money to things that, number one, I think really are worthwhile, and secondly, are interesting to me and Tina.
You know, we tend to support places that we go to frequent a lot. Why not? I mean, Wolf Trap, we go to their concerts all the time. They're looking to expand their education program, so we'd like to help raise funds for that during their galas. We'd actually been together 5 years already. We were attending a lot of concerts. And one particular one was the famous flamenco guitarist Paco de Lucia. And, you know, it's flamenco music, and we get back in the car after the concert, and he says, "I can play those pieces." And I was like, "Yeah, right, whatever." He says, "No, for real." And he whips out this video of him at 40 years old. And at this point, I guess he might have been already like 60-ish. And he says, see, that's me playing. And I said, holy cow, that's pretty awesome.
We think we can help people by expanding their way of looking at things based upon what we've learned in our road.
Music, or the arts in general, is a great healing instrument. It just brings comfort or an expression of whatever you're going through at the time, that it really is important to your health. Art is medicine.
We tend to see things where there's something going on that really needs some help. I'd say that's how we've spent the majority of our wealth.
We hope that it serves as an inspiration to others. We're honored that we were recognized for it and nominated for it, but the more important thing is that we hope that we get to inspire others to also give.
Well, I'd say one other thing about this is that not only did you get to connect with the art, but you get to connect with the artists. So in one respect, when we would meet up with artists, we would end up being their friends. And they would come to our house and they'd play at our house. And all kinds of violinists and guitar players and all these different people played at the house. Now, as a guitar player, you're really fascinated with the technical dimensions of the instrument and how all this comes to play. And so we now, we got invited by Joshua Bell to go to his house in New York. And you don't get that kind of opportunity very often. So anyway, I think that has been the big thing for us is investing in artists. And they invest in us. So anyway.
I just want to add a thank you to everybody who keeps the interest in arts alive. And as you can see, it really is a healing thing. Inova has a healing and arts program, and Kennedy Center, Washington Performing Arts, and Wolf Trap especially also have education programs and student ticketing programs that allow all the youth to participate. But most importantly, these organizations have enabled us to meet more people and have become close friends to us and like family too. So enjoy the arts. Thank you.
What a great afternoon here in Fairfax County, Tyson's Corner. Arts Fairfax, thank you. It's been an excellent, excellent afternoon. In 2020, Fairfax County endorsed the establishment of a Fairfax Poet Laureate to be selected and managed by Arts Fairfax. Our inaugural Poet Laureate, Nicole Tong, is here with us today. I'm waiting for her to stand. Where is she? Ms. Tong, as our first Poet Laureate, was challenged to find ways to enrich our community through poetry, engaging our students, offering poetry programs for our incarcerated youth at the county's Juvenile Detention Center, and presenting videos of a broad array of residents reading poems by living writers in celebration of National Poetry Month. In fact, I was one of the guest readers last April. as I read Crossing by Jericho Brown. I want to personally thank Ms. Tong for all of her hard work, and I want to say it was a great year. Today, I'm pleased to announce our new 2022 through 2024 Fairfax Poet Laureate, Danielle Badger. Danielle is a published poet, selected by a stellar panel of regional poets who are also with us here today. Danielle received her BA, and she probably doesn't know I know this, from Kalamazoo College. Is that true? That is true. Whew, man. Wow. She has also received her MFA in poetry from our George Mason University. While there, she was the poetry editor of So to Speak, a feminist literary and arts journal, and an intern for the Split This Rock. Not only is Danielle a graduate of George Mason's writing program, which we are extremely proud of, I'm also proud to state that she works for me. Sorry, she works for the Board of Supervisors. Sorry, she works for you in Fairfax County. She's using her talents in our land development services, and I just wanted to congratulate Danielle today. We're also looking forward to your work with Neighborhood and Community Services, our Park Authority, as we bring poetry to our youth and beyond. I want to say good luck to Danielle. I want to say thank you to Nicole, job well done. And I want to say thank you to Arts Fairfax for an excellent year. I appreciate it all. Thank you for your creativity. Congratulations.
Now for the Jinx Hazel Award, which honors an individual, company, foundation, or civic association that has made a significant and lasting impact in Fairfax and the region. We are pleased to present the Jinx Hazel Award to Capital One Hall.
Capital One's been anchored in the Northern Virginia area and specifically Fairfax County since our founding in the mid-90s. We've since grown, and as we've grown, had the need for some larger event spaces, and hence Capital One Hall was born. Capital One Hall is really a collection of different theaters and event spaces, and all of these come together to create dynamic spaces that different events can be held in any different array and fashion. On top of Capital One Hall, we have the Perch, a 2.5-acre public sky park, beer garden, amphitheater, dog park, even a miniature golf course. All of this activity is happening around Capital One Hall. In developing Capital One Hall, we had a unique opportunity in partnership with Fairfax County and Arts Fairfax to open the venue up at significantly reduced cost to local nonprofit arts organizations. Not only do these organizations have the ability to perform in this beautiful space, but they also can tap into the talent that's the team behind Capital One Hall to assist in marketing, ticketing, theatrical production, and all the other components that bring success in the arts. We're right at the footsteps of the McLean Metro Station, right at the convergence of several major highways. And so accessibility is really one of the key tenets of Capital One Hall. When we think about creating vibrant communities, we often talk about the words live, work, and play, but really missing from that is the aspect of culture. And the performing arts fill that void, really creating the glue that really build rich and vibrant communities and hold us together. Winning the Arts Fairfax Jinx Hazel Award is a tremendous honor for Capital One. We've spent decades supporting the arts in our community and beyond, and really Capital One Hall is a culmination of that effort. It took an amazing team to try to pull off and open a venue of this stature in our community. For me personally, I enjoy more than anything seeing people come in, smiling faces, come into the venue and walk away with these lasting impressions and memories.
Well, thank you. I want to just thank everyone for coming here today and enjoying Capital One Hall with us. It's an amazing venue, as you can see, and I do encourage you to join Scott and the team for a tour a little bit later. I just wanted to take a moment and recognize how honored and humbled we are, not only the Capital One Hall team, but the broader Capital One community, to be awarded the Jinx Hazel Award. It's such an honor. We've had an amazing first year at Capital One Hall, kicked off by Josh Groban, some amazing comedy shows, dance acts, Broadway and Tyson's. How awesome is that we're able to bring a Broadway series here to Fairfax County? And I think more important than that are those events hosted by our local community artists through the public-private partnership between Fairfax County and Capital One that actually created this amazing venue, through the support of an amazing team at Arts Fairfax. It really does take an army to pull off opening and running a venue such as Capital One Hall, and I just wanted to recognize a few folks. Nonetheless, our architects, HGA, that had this amazing creative vision of this space to bring to life, our contractors, Whiting Turner, our attorneys, our consultants, and most important, our community partners, the Fairfax County Board of Supervisors, most importantly, really the county staff. One individual, Micah Lieberman, has been absolutely tremendous in bringing this venue to life. I want to recognize Michael and his service, and also special leaders within Capital One that are committed to creating a vibrant community, not only for our associates, but for all of our neighbors and partners within Fairfax County. And one of those is Miss Stephanie Jenkins. Steph.
Thanks so much, John. I just want to take an opportunity to share a little bit more about Capital One's corporate art program. And while I get to share the words, I have to acknowledge that the heart and the vision behind our corporate art program for the last 20 years is actually Ann Fletcher. And just a pause for a round for her, because it is because of her passion that our art program has become a physical manifestation of our unique culture, of the creativity, the diversity, and the humanity that our associates and our visitors, as they walk into our campuses, our office buildings, Capital One Center, get to experience that. And so thank you, Anne, for that. Not only does she really create kind of the physical manifestation, and like we've heard with some of the other awards, we had to reimagine what our art program looked like over these last couple years. And so how could we make it accessible to our associates that were no longer in the office buildings for this little blip of time, but instead continue the education of the arts and the appreciation and creating these experiences that we took to the homes of all of our associates across the country. The final component of our corporate art program is really what we're here celebrating today, and it's the fostering and the building of the deep connections in the communities where all of our associates and our offices are, where we get to live, work, and play, as John said. And in that, where we get to create these curated collections with our local and our regional artists for each of our locations, which just really brings it to life and makes it very powerful. And so one of those incredible examples is exactly what we're talking about, is our partnership with Arts Fairfax, where in that partnership, we have been able to create this development, which has now made Capital One Center a destination for arts and culture. And so again, thank you for that partnership, and we are just so honored to receive this prestigious award. And we look forward to our continued partnership with Arts Fairfax. Thank you.
If we could, I'd like to have the Capital One team come up, please.